welcome to Action College. It's Elijah. Today we're going to share something about certificates. You've been asking yourself that how are you going to have some information about different certificates? So, worry no more. Today we're going to discuss about the difference between these certificates that we have. We are going to first of all discuss about the difference between IELTS and TOEFL certificates. So basically today we are going to base on key differences. As you see on the screen there, we have a comparative overview. It's a kind of the differences, but based on the overview of each and every certificate. So let's commence with the first. Here we're going to have an introduction about the both certificates. As the bullet number 1 states, both certificates, TOEFL and IELTS, are globally recognized as English language proficiency tests. And here you can ask yourself that why are they required for? What are they required for? First of all, they are required for admission, university admissions as well, because whenever you need to study abroad, you requested from different universities in the countries that are native English speaking. They really request a person from a native country to be having a proof of English proficiency, which really takes us to IELTS and TOEFL certificates. Bullet number 2, immigrations. Migration, this means like you need really to be away from this country to another country, either to live there. So really need also the certificate of IELTS or TOEFL to be really accepted. Number 3 is employment. Employment, those people really need to work abroad in those English native speaking countries. You're requested to have the certificates for you to be really admitted, and then you work in a safe, conducive environment. And then, as here, the bullet number 5 says that the presentation today, we're going to basically base on the structure, comparing the structure of two certificates, both certificates, scoring, formats, and the exam that suits a test taker. Let's have this together. We're going to start with an overview of IELTS as one of the certificates that we're going to discuss today. Bullet number 1, we're going to start with IELTS in full. What does it stand for? It stands for International English Language Testing System as well. For those people who were just busy saying the IELTS, when you don't know like what does it mean in full, you're abreast that today we brought the IELTS in full. What does I stands for international, E stands for English, and L stands for language, T stands for testing, and S stands for the system as well. And then you can ask yourself that when was IELTS founded? It was in 1989, and then administered by British Council as well, because most of the time the exams that you are going to sit for, by the time you'll be trained and get ready for the exam will be from British Council and IDP and even Cambridge. So these are the administrators of the IELTS certificate exam. So here in IELTS, it's not only understanding this, but also IELTS has the types. These types are based on like academic based or IELTS academic, and we have IELTS general training. You've been told you that before that these are required or are requested for different things. Like for employment, and really comes to working and migration, you really have to sit for general training. For further studies, you're going to sit for IELTS academic. So here, the format of this certificate, you have to understand that it's a paper-based or a computer-based. What do we mean by a paper-based? A paper-based exam, simply we understand paper is something that copy you have in your hand and then you sit for the exam. So they give you an exam, every section based, especially reading, listening, even writing, they are done on the paper. And then when it comes to speaking also, you're going to understand how it's different from others. Then we have test length. Test length means the duration of the test. How long is it going to take you to sit for this test? It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. So it means that's an overview about IELTS that we must be equipped with. Then here, next is a TOEFL certificate as well, because remember that we've been discussing, comparing these two. TOEFL, then you will ask it, TOEFL, T stands for test, and O stands for of, E stands for English. As a foreign language, this is F, foreign language, and then L is the language as well. And then we can also know that it was founded in 1964 as well as this presented here. And then it's also administered by ETS, Education Testing Services. That's what ETS stands for. And then the primary type in TOEFL is TOEFL IBT. IBT means internet-based test. IBT, that's what it means. And then the format is a computer-based only, to mean each and every section, each and every skill that is going to be tested about the language is done on a computer. You can't find a paper-based. That's what makes IELTS a bit different from TOEFL, because in IELTS, you can choose either paper-based exam or computer-based exam. And then the test length of a TOEFL test or an exam is 2 hours. So it's just updated version as well. Then, after that, we have the test structure comparison. You remember, we're here today just trying to find the difference. Those people have been asking yourselves that how is TOEFL and IELTS different. So today we're just comparing, just to find the key differences that we really have in both certificates. Here, basically we have 3 columns, we have section, we have IELTS, and then we have TOEFL. For sections, both certificates, they have 4 sections, which are based on 4 skills of the language. And then in IELTS, you will read, basically in reading, you read 3 passages and 40 questions. These 40 questions are not really given like from 1 to 40, no. Reading the first passage, you get 14 questions. The second passage, 14 questions. The third passage, 14 questions, which adds up to 40 questions in total, and it gives it 40 marks to be scored. And then in TOEFL reading section, you have 2 passages. Currently, most of the time, you have 2 passages, and the questions which are given there, these MCQs stands for multiple choice questions. So here, basically, the passages of IELTS of TOEFL, there are MCQs questions that provided that. And then listening. Listening is a conversation, and monologues. What do you mean by monologues? Monologues is when a person is really standing alone and speaking, like explaining something. As I am also, this is a monologue. It's not a conversation because I'm really explaining about something, and I'm really alone. That's a monologue, stands for mono means one. And then conversations, there you will be having people just on a phone call, basically listening, and then talking about familiar topics, and they will be having a conversation about something, and you'll be there to listen and then give the answers of the questions which are given. Speaking, in the TOEFL is academic style lectures. Basically, TOEFL, what makes it different is like for it, most of the time, it's for further studies, it's for academic purpose. So here, you just listen to the lectures of the lecturers who are really presenting something in a certain context, and then you listen, and after you are given the questions to respond. Speaking section is a face-to-face interview in IELTS. To mean, the day of the test of speaking, you have the examiner as well in the room somewhere, you sit together, you are asked some questions and you respond to the questions, and then they will be judging how you respond at the moment. And then for the TOEFL is a recorded response. That's it. And then when it comes to the writing section, we have like task 1 and task 2 in every writing of IELTS. Remember, we have 2 categories. We have general training and we have academic. In academic, task 1 is analyzing the graphs. But task 2 is essay writing. And when it comes to general task 1 is a letter writing, and then also they share essay writing as task 2. When it comes to a TOEFL certificate, it is integrated task. What do you mean by integrated task? Integrated task, this is a task that combines the 3 skills. For example, when it comes to integrated task, you there listen and read, and then you summarize what you've listened, like comparing like how article and the lecture, or the article and the audio are really challenging the arguments of each other. And then here there is also the second, which is academic discussion. Academic discussion, this is when a professor posts a certain topic and the students themselves, they come to give their reactions, their comments about the topic posted by a professor, and then how it appears, you read that topic, the discussions made by a certain student, and then you give your opinion also about the topic that is posted by a lecturer, and then comparing the opinions provided by the other students that who also discussed about the topic. Then this was the test structure comparison. It's a scoring comparison. We are going to compare and how is the scores in both certificates. Gana action, niba ushaka kwiga indimi, gana action, ushaka kuba umusirimu, gana action.